Welcome back, friends. This is Fraser from FF Art Studio. Hope you all are doing fine, friends. Welcome to the second part of this game asset creation tutorial. In this part, we'll be sculpting the wooden crate we had created in the first part in Maya. We'll be sculpting it in ZBrush. So let's get started. First, let's import a file. So I'll just go to the location and import a file. So let's import the FBX file. So you can just hit on OK over here. Okay, and the subtool menu open, you can see that we have all the parts of the box we have created in Maya separately, so it will be easier for us to sculpt. So the first step will be, once the tool is imported, just drag it in the document and without touching anything else, hit the edit button. Once you hit the edit button, now you can maneuver, see the object as you wish. So it's in a sculpting mode now, or rather a 3D preview. Okay, so we'll turn on the perspective views so it looks better. So as you can see, the first box, which is the part inside this mesh. Okay, so shift and left click to just isolate this. So we have over here, if you press Ctrl F, you can see the wireframe of this mesh. Okay, as you know, we have done a basic simple cube, so it has only 6 faces, but for sculpting obviously we need a lot of more polygons. So the first step what we'll do over here is we will dynamesh it. Okay, so for that, go into geometry. Under geometry you'll find dynamesh, right? So open the dynamesh tab, and under that there are certain settings you just need to change. First of all, turn off the project. We don't want project. Sub projection, turn down 0, blur 0, and this resolution 1 to 8, let it be as it is, and hit the dynamesh button. So once you hit the dynamesh button, you can see the wireframe has changed. So we have got, previously we had 8 active points, now we have around 76,000, 77,000. So this will be enough for a good starting point to sculpt the wood. So yeah, let's start sculpting. So as you can see, the reference we are following over here, this might look like a simple wood crate. Okay, and it has the basic grains over here, but for this tutorial, what I would like to do is I would like to place at least 3 planks over here instead of just keeping a wooden plank. To make the work easier for us, I would like to use the symmetry. Okay, so for that, go into transform, and under transform, activate symmetry. Right now, if you see, if X is on, okay, now this will just take the standard brush and start sculpting. This is what happens. Okay, symmetry X. But if you want the back side of this to be sculpted while you're sculpting the front, then in that case, instead of X, we should turn on Z. Okay, so with that done, now you can see if we sculpt the front. Okay, let's see, we are sculpting the front. Now you can see the back part is also being sculpted. So this is what we want. And coming to the brushes we need for this, I'll be using a special brush. Okay, I'll just share and give you the link of this brush below. BO, and so it's an Orb brush. So this Orb brush, you can get it for free by the creator. So it has various set of brushes. So I'll be using this Orb crack brush. There are 3 crack brushes in there we'll be using over here. So it gives a pretty good result for creating cracks. Okay. Next thing is, don't forget to save the project. It's very important. Obviously, before you start doing anything else, just save it. Okay. So for that, you can just hit Ctrl S. Don't forget to give versions. So I'll just make this version 1 and let this Z project be as it is, and hit enter. So with this project saved, we are good to start sculpting. So let's start and see how it goes. So you can see this brush size. So if you exert more pressure, you get nice deformation over here. Okay, and one more thing is you can use the strokes, and you can use the lazy mouse. So with the lazy mouse on, you can change the radius of the lazy mouse if you want. So let's make it around 30 and leave it as it is. So now you can follow how it's coming on, right? Another thing is, let's decrease the size. So I'll be dividing this into 3 blanks. So I'll just create, first I'll create just randomly, I'll be creating 3, yeah, just like this. just to indicate 3 wooden planks. Okay, very simple. Now we come on to the grains. So for these grains, we can, if you want, you can increase the subdivisions also. Let's hit subdivide once more so it gets smoother. And we already have Dynamish on, so don't worry about that. So just feel free to create the grains as you wish. Since we are doing a stylized version of this, use your creativity. You can take the artistic liberty and create these grains as you wish. So there's no fixed way or anything. You can check out the references, how most of the wood grains are. Right? So you can just check that out. Don't hesitate to create anything new. Stuffs like this. Stylized wood. So you can have these things going around. You can play with that. So let's just trace over it and make this little yeah. So it's up to you how far you want to move with this. It's completely up to you. You can add some variation with the thickness also. You can use the pen pressure if you're using a stylus. Just see what looks good. So some variation in the pressure and the depth. So this looks perfectly cool for now, right? So you got an idea. So we can do the same thing for the other two sides as well. Okay, similar. Just create some variation. Now this time, since we are switched to the side view, so for the transform, now we can use X, right? So now it will work properly. And worry about doing it perfectly because it's not anything which is perfect. It's an organic thing, so it can vary. Okay, and friends, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get my notifications. So we are not doing anything with the edges so far. So as you can see, we have all the 4 sides sculpted, right? Let's see what happens if you just update the Dynamish. So as you update the Dynamish, now with these settings, what we have now, Shift F. As you can see, we have lost the details. Okay, so that is a note. So if you are updating the Dynamish with this poly count, keep in mind, since we have done sculpting, you would prefer increasing this resolution before Dynamishing so that you don't lose the detail as much. Okay, and basically this number V active punch will give you a value you need. So whatever it is, before you update the Dynamish, control and drag like this to update. So see this value. So it should be as close as possible to the original value after updating the Dynamish. Then you will not lose the details you have done. So just for that, you can adjust the resolution in order to fix that. So it updates the polygons according to your sculpting. At the same time, it equally distributes the polygons basically. Okay, same thing coming to the top. So transform this time Y, right? So this is the front view. Now if you want to do it following the front view's orientation, it's not necessary it has to be same. Okay, so don't worry about that, but just to we're having very bad weather in this month of March, almost across the mid of March, and it's been raining since a couple of days. So you see the world is changing. That's a very sad thing. Weather is changing, lots of problems, and we're having lots of hype regarding the eclipse which is coming, the solar eclipse. I don't know, but I just pray for everyone. That's it. I'm happy with this. So this is the top, and you see we have got the bottom as well. So this looks good for a stylized one. So once we are done with this, now hopping up onto the next part, right? Yeah, update the dynamesh. Let's see with this value. What do we have over here? 256. Shift F. Let's see the wireframe updating and these values. Okay, so that's fine. We haven't lost any detail over here. So coming to the next mesh. Okay, let's first check. So this is how it looks. Okay, so far. Don't worry about the part which is not visible. Just go to display properties and turn on double. So now you can see the inner parts as well. So for this part, I will not do dynamic. I'll just simply remove the smooth, just subdivide the mesh a few times. Now, if you want to do other parts as well at the same time, you can turn on the Y as well. So now you have the top, bottom, and the back. You guys got a little cold. The weather out here is pretty chilly. See, if it is not visible, you can always change the material. Let's put a basic material. Next important thing to look for is the edges, right? Take the trim dynamic brush. We'll just trim these edges down. So that part done. Next is creating some major dents and cracks. Okay. Now for creating the major dents and cracks, come to this with Control Shift, and we'll be selecting this color flip. I'd like to show you a few examples of what you're trying to do. So let's say if you hold Alt, hold once more. Okay, so that will clip off motions like this. Okay, but this is now uniform. So what we'll do is we'll turn off the symmetry for now. Shift Control for activating this tool, the curve flip tool, Alt angle, and then Alt and Alt once more to get that perfect angle. Okay, so with that clip tool selected, Alt, so just draw a stroke from here, and let's say we want this much, right? Then Alt and then Alt. So that will cut off the chip of some edge like this. So it depends on how you want to do. So let's say I want to come to this part and I want to create something longer. We get something like this. Okay. So if you want to create some other place, same process, Alt at that angle, right? And so you get this. So now you can create a longer edge like this. So more or less you're getting an idea of what we are trying to get over here. So that's we have. So you can see we have indents and chips and damages a couple of places. So it won't have to be uniform or same. We don't need to do that everywhere. Okay. Okay, so I'm good to go with this. So basically you got an idea how we can create these variations of scratches and cuts and dents. So as you can see, it already looks pretty good. Okay, now coming on to these diagonal ones. increase this to 512. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, settle detail lost. Increase in poly count. Shift F. Yeah, that looks okay. Rest looks pretty cool. Yeah. So that's done. Next, coming on to this part of the metallic cache we have over here. Okay. So as for this one is I'll do some major deformations here, and the minor ones we'll do in texturing. Okay. So for that, trim dynamic and yes, please. Cool. Now let's go for some finer details with the same or crack brush. Okay, now for this I'll suggest is turn off the symmetry. You can keep the Y on, turn off either Y or X or Z, so it doesn't become so evident. Normally iron will not have chips and all, but it will have max to max this grade of scratches. I think, yeah, this looks pretty cool. Okay friends, with this done, the sculpting is done. The next step and the final step before we export the mesh, a couple more steps we need to do is, first we need to merge this. Okay, so we'll merge all the mesh together. So for that, move into the merge tab here. You can see merge visible. So you can just hit merge visible, and that will merge all these into a new subtool. So you can see this merged version over here, right? So if you hit Shift F, you can see the poly groups. Okay, but this is too high poly. As you can see, it's coming in millions, more than 1.3 million. So we need to decimate it in order to work with this smoothly. So for that, you can simply go to the Z plugin over here, and under Z plugin you get this decimation master. So under the decimation master, the first step will be to do pre-processing. So do pre-processing of the current. Okay, few seconds. So with that done, next step is now we need to do the actual decimation. For this percentage of decimation, I'll keep it as 10. Okay, and I'll hit the decimation or the decimate current button. So once you hit that, you can see the polygon count has reduced drastically to 132,000 polygons. If you turn this on, you can see this is the wireframe, how it looks. Don't worry about this is high poly. So once this is decimated, we just export this mesh, right? So choose your location and just export it. So export this as FBX. Okay, hit save. So you get this window here, no need of making any changes, just hit OK. So the export is being done, and once the file is exported, we are good to go for the third step or the third tutorial, where we'll be doing the texturing in Substance Painter. So we have the low poly from Maya, we'll be doing the UV of that, and we have the high poly we have just exported from a ZBrush, which is being sculpted. Will be the texturing of this wooden crate game asset with Substance Painter. Please do subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I hope you have learned something from it. See you in the third tutorial, and till then, take care. Bye bye.